Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another capsule series selection. Today, I'm excited to get this list out to you guys. This is a list that I had such a problem not putting together, but actually even thinking about ranking, because each individual fragrance in this collection that I'm showcasing to you has actually come to give me a defining moment of me thinking that there's going to be a transitional shift in this genre of fragrances. And what I mean by that is that basically the sensory symphony of chocolate and tobacco is coming into its own right now. And I'm excited to bring you 5 from my fragrance collection that I think are going to be the actual definitive collection starters. They're going to get this ball rolling for many years to come. If this sounds like the type of content you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuance of scent, cigars, and wine. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's experience. As stated, we're going to get into a brand new category. To me, I won't say brand new. I will say this one is becoming a definitive collection of fragrances that are beginning to roll out from different fragrance companies and different fragrance brands to give us a new genre to take to enjoy fragrances in our journey with. This particular, in a world where fragrance is an expression of individuality and combination of accords begin to give us more and more reflectiveness and more and more reputation building on our journey, this will become a timeless allure for many of us for many years to come. This is the combination of chocolate and tobacco. Now I have 5 as stated. I'm going to start with one. It may be a little controversial, but I say what I feel and I feel what I smell, and I'm going to present it as such because this fragrance doesn't have a listing that's been put out or publicized. But for years now, I've thought that this had a tobacco essence to it, and now that I've seen more and more fragrance come to market with this essence and accord together, I'm realizing that I wasn't wrong in my honest opinion. First, we're going to go with the fragrance Pardon by the House of Nasomatto. Now we all pick up the magnolia and chocolate accords, which has been put in different databases, but for me, I've always picked up a very blooming, blossoming nuance of tobacco in this particular scent. And once I got a few of these fragrances into my collection, I was able to solidify my opinion on that, because when you smell this, and I hope that I open your mind to that as well, when you smell Pardon, you're going to get a nice elevated essence of sweetness, oud accords, deep woody accords, a tobacco essence, a just wonderful cacao chocolate note that's going to give you the most attractive and alluring signature as a male wearer of this particular scent. I wouldn't particularly put this on any female skin. This is not one that goes any way feminine. This is one that has a very deep, robust, alluring feel for masculinity in it. And I think that this one is the first one that I put on my list when I thought about tobacco and chocolate fragrances. I hope this one it vibes with you, and if it does, I think that you will pick up the essence once I brought it to your attention that this has a little bit of tobacco inside of it. Once again, Pardon by the House of Nasomatto. Genres defining 10 out of 10 fragrances, in my opinion. Next up, we're going to get into a fragrance that is no stranger to my particular video content. This is one that I bring up not only as a fragrance that it has so many accords that allure to me as my journey has gone forth, but one that has really established itself in my top 15 of all time. This is Vanille Havane by the House of Les Indomptables, done by perfumer Antoine Lai. Now this particular scent here, this has the published list of having Colombian cacao, coumarin vanilla, and Egyptian jasmine inside of it with a tobacco accord. And to me, this is one of the best fragrances on the market. And like I said, a top 15 fragrance. This one here is a fragrance that has the depth and complexity of tobacco paired with a very sweet chocolate and a boozy rum accord that is so sensual, so alluring, so inviting. This is a bad boy fragrance all the way up into a gentleman fragrance depending on how you wear it. That's one of the best things about the versatility of this particular tobacco fragrance. It can be worn with a leather jacket, it can be worn with sporting clothing as far as hoodies and sweatsuits, and it can be paired all the way up to an elegant evening fragrance with a suit and tie and even a black tie event. This is one of the most versatile fragrances that I have in my collection when it comes to fall and winter fragrance wearing, and that's because it's built around that beautiful, like I said, a warming touch of rum and cacao The coumarin is sweet vanillic, but it has this spice accord inside of it as well that gives it a bit of a smoky nuance, a bit of mysteriousness that makes it come off quite sensuous and alluring for any person to wear. Basically, it leans masculine to me. This is another one out of this genre that leans very masculine to me. No female nose or I don't think the female skin will really resonate this particular scent very well. They can wear it if they choose. You guys can wear it if you choose. But I think for me, this is a very masculine, gentleman, bad boy style fragrance that anybody in the looking to get a sweetened cacao tobacco fragrance will enjoy. I vouch for this one. Another 10 out of 10. Next up, guys, as you can see, I'm going to keep this one. I'm hit after hit, 10 after 10, 10 after 10, 10 after 10. This is another fragrance done by my new, coming into his own, my new top 5 perfumer, Julien Rasquinet, for the house of BDK. If anybody has heard this fragrance, it's been coming about. I've been talking about it for about 2 or 3 years now. When it first came out, I enjoyed it. It had a bit of a nuance that was a little bit off-putting to me, but I kept the fragrance in my collection in the maceration process over the last 2 years, and also my nose developing still at this late in my journey has given me a reason to enjoy this greatly as a date night, evening out fragrance that is becoming one of the fragrances that really truly shines for me in moments when I want compliments. Julien Rasquinet, man, when I say I've smelled all of BDK's collection and this is the only one I wanted. This is a spicy, sweet floral fragrance with heaps of chocolate, plum, Madagascar, vanilla, and tobacco. It has a nuance that just comes off. It flourishes on the skin. It's very seductive, very alluring, very inviting as well because it has these nuances of lemon and pink pepper that keeps these accords light and fresh in some points while driving itself down the road to get to that deep dark chocolate and tobacco essence. I'm one who is, like I said, Julien Rasquinet knows how to make fragrances, and this one has an evolution to it. It goes on as the first opening accords is slightly like sweet lemons and floral accords. Those dry down at about the 15-minute mark. Then this robust chocolate and tobacco essence comes up with the Madagascar cinnamon as well. It's a spicy accord. It's slightly indolic from there's some type of white floral in here. I feel it may be the pink pepper giving away to a white floral essence, but there's Spanish labdanum, which gives you a leathery feel to it. All in all, another 10 out of 10 in my eyes when it comes to tobacco and chocolate fragrances. Now, these are not, when I speak of tobacco and chocolate, I'm coming from the essence where I'm picking up a lot of aromas that are earthy, they're sweet, they are, some have a pungent feel to them. So none of these are childish, none of these are juvenile, and all of them have a distinctive lane that they're going down and get that aroma to our noses. None of these smell designer. That's the one thing I like about it as well. These are all fragrances that have high quality oils in them, and I'm enjoying each one for those particular reasons. And Julien Rasquinet, like I said, Tabac Rose. If you guys haven't gotten your nose on Tabac Rose, try to seek out a sample of that one. I wouldn't say blind buy it because it does have some nuances that may put you off like it did for me. But at the end of the day, after 2 or 3 years having it in my collection, I'm thoroughly enjoying what it is about this particular fragrance as a tobacco and rose fragrance. So it opens up your mind to different lanes you can go down with these fragrances overall. Great fragrance. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a fragrance here next. And yes, you could say you heard it here first. I'm going to introduce you guys to Ecrin de Fume. This is a fragrance done by the house of Serge Lutens, and I actually think that as a house, this is going to become one of their top 3 sellers overall. This is going to get up there with the Cherguise. This is going to get up there with the Amber Sultans. This is a beautiful fragrance that is a smoky, sweet chocolate tobacco that I came across through someone in my board, in my community tabs, in my conversations, kept having conversations with, and he said, "Have you ever smelled Ecrin de Fume?" I said, "No, I had not smelled it." I jumped right online and saw the notes, and I was intrigued, went ahead and purchased it, and this fragrance here is actually the reason for this list. This fragrance here is a smoky, smooth, sweet, woody, resinous fragrance that is a genre-defining fragrance for anyone looking to get a date night bad boy fragrance that is just killer. It's tobacco, it's rum, and it's cacao. Now in my testing, I will admit this, I'm still trying to get this fragrance under wraps of how it performs. On some of times I've worn it when I do 5 or 6 sprays, It comes off very ethereal. It comes off heavy wearing in the first 30 minutes, then it dries down. And I seek for the fragrance. I can get whiffs of it, but I seek for it. And then other times I'm wearing it where I've got it on my clothing and around my collar. It was there for 6-7 hours. So in my testing, I won't give it a score yet on projection and sillage. I have had people smell it on me, and trust me, in that range of where people were smelling on me, it was a compliment getter, because it's a very, very smoky sweetness that is, I can't recall things like Jazz Club and Fireplace in my head, but what I'm getting in an essence is that smoky, slightly sweet, burning Palo Santo wood, but it's very, very, very much so in the background. The essence of cacao is forefront, the essence of rum is forefront, and the essence of tobacco is at the forefront. This is a beautiful fragrance. I think any of you guys who are interested in these style fragrances that want, where's my blotter at? This, and the juice, you see the juice is like super red. This here, man, it opens with that sweet tobacco. And the sweet tobacco is such an alluring essence in this one. It's a tobacco that I would say it leans toward the style of tobacco vanille and Les Indomitable's Vanille Havane, but it's a lot thicker while not being a lot sweeter. It's actually this very, very sensual, robust accord of tobacco, culminating with that sweet, warm, spicy, juicy appeal of the boozy rum and then cacao. This, like I said, you heard it here first. Get your nose on Ecrin de Fume by the House of Serge Lutens. 10 out of 10 fragrance. Sweet, succulent, boozy, spicy, resinous, smoky. Very good fragrance. Very good. Get your nose on it. And next up, and last but not least at all, as I said, this is not a rank list. I strive to not try to rank these fragrances because each of us have a different appeal. But for me, all these fragrances have a different edge when it comes to tobacco and chocolate. For me, this one came in, I'm thoroughly enjoying what Filosofia by the House of Day 3 Fragrances is doing for me at this particular time. It's a softer, more appealing, sweet, spicy accord of chocolate. The chocolate in this one is not like a thick, a melted chocolate like the rest of these fragrances are. This one is more like a cacao powder. It has a slight bit of fluff to it, slight bit of appeal to where it's more inviting as a fragrance to be around longer and more appealing in that way. The rest of these are really callers of sillage, or really callers of projection. This one is one of those scents that's really, when you get the person inside of your scent bubble, it's a really great calling card for them to sit there, a inviting fragrance, like I said, alluring, for them to just sit there and be in your presence, because it's alluring to all be damned, with notes of black pepper in the opening with a sweet, spicy cardamom that's very soft, like I stated. The tobacco, you got hazelnut, chocolate, and vanilla absolute, with a mid that has this very sweet, not a rough edge, but a serrated edge, I would say, of cypriol and oud. So you get this really soft and calming opening of powdered cacao and tobacco. Then the mid goes into that depthful woodiness that you want in your masculine fragrance, and then it goes to that dry, sexy appeal of hazelnut, chocolate, and vanilla. Now this one here, this is a compliment getter, like I stated, 100 out of 100 times. I don't know what it is that's so appealing about this fragrance for people when I wear it. I'm actually wearing this more than I ever thought I would. Not in the saying that I don't want to wear it. It's more one of the fragrances that you want to kind of get it out of your rotation, but you keep pulling for it because of the reactions you get from it. Once again, this is Filosofia by the House of Day 3 Fragrances, a niche company. I think they're out of Texas or Arizona somewhere, maybe even Phoenix, but they're an American brand, and they produced a great scent. I am excited to wear that one because it's also an extrait de parfum, so it lasts on my skin with great projection for about 6 hours. I have had no complaints about the actual performance on this scent at all. It gives me, with 5 or 6 sprays, a great cloud, a great projection, like I said. Sweet, warm, resinous, spicy, oudy touches in the mid, kind of like the Pardon, but a little bit softer with the powdery cacao versus the chocolate pouring or milk chocolate style. Once again, this has been, to me, what is becoming, in my journey, the new accord structure or combination that people are going to start talking about. You know, you got oud, rose, you have the aquatics, you have any combination you could think of. There's so many that we can just pull out the air and just talk about. But for me, defining now chocolate and tobacco is going to be one of the, at least in 2024 and beyond, one of the most talked about fragrance categories going forward. So if you got your chance to get your nose on one of these, you're going to be ahead of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my video for you guys today. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a great list for me to put out for you guys. A very fun list of my favorite style of fragrances, which is tobacco. As always, if you enjoyed this video or got anything educational, just tap in below, leave a comment, like the video, of course, and also share the video with friends who enjoy fragrance related content with a little bit of cigars and wines inside of that content. Until next time, until next video, I will see you then. Peace.